So how's a brew? I actually have a new mug which I bought in Sainsbury's the other day, which was like really, really cheap. It was like, I'm just trying to think how much it was now, like a quid or something stupid. Keep calm and drink tea. Unfortunately, not my massive one because that's my massive mug, not my massive anything else, man, sausage or whatever. Because I mean, it's currently 22:16 on Monday evening, and really an entire 500 mils of tea is going to be far too much. I'm currently got like sort of like a light rig set up here because it's pitch black outside, and unfortunately now we're kind of getting to the stage where it starts getting about dark about 7 o'clock now, and so I can't really sort of do things during the day, and I suppose I could film this tomorrow after I come home from work, but I figured I might as well do this now because, to be honest, I doubt there's going to be any actual news. I also do have some cookies as well, just to make you all jealous, because Sainsbury's had these 50p, 5 50p's, not bad, 10p each. So, since last time Android KitKat came out as a thing, basically Google turned around to Nestle and said, "Can we use your brand? Can we use KitKat as your brand?" And Nestle turned around and said, "Yes, you can." In not so many words. There was no money change hands, none of that. So in terms of licensing, Nestle turned around and said, "Yes, you can." For very, very, very good reasons. Because for Nestle, it's a really great marketing thing in terms of them teaming up with Android and giving away some free shit. And let's be honest, I'm gonna probably say this. As soon as that was announced, I suspect the sales of KitKats actually shot up. As soon as I heard the news, I went out and bought KitKat because I was really craving a KitKat all of a sudden. I'm not a fan of Nestle though. I don't like Nestle for the simple fact that they're a bunch of nasty. It's just a horrible, nasty company. The amount of scandals that Nestle have been involved in is ridiculous. They've illegally stolen water from dozens of countries to have bottled water. They've given free milk to mothers in Africa, and it doesn't sound too bad, but when you start giving free milk away, women's tits dry up basically, and then they don't produce milk for the infants, and then they become reliant on powdered milk. There's loads of things that Nestle have done that's really, really bad. So, I mean, this is kind of quite a good PR thing for Nestle, assuming they don't fuck up again and do something ridiculously bad. To be honest, I think Nestle have kind of come out of that we're a horrible, nasty company now, after suffering a lot in terms of sales. So I think we're pretty safe to say that they've pretty much come out of that. Now, in terms of Google, I don't know what this is good for Google. I mean, I would perhaps say that it is, because them teaming up, I think, together, it's going to make a really, really great thing. Especially, say, if they get Android-themed KitKats out and about, that's really, really great for the Android brand. To be honest, does Android really need a hand? Not really, because Apple are losing market share, Windows Phone's losing market share, and to be honest, Android's kind of ruling the roost with that, in terms of market share. And the other news, relevant really to mobiles, is Microsoft buys Nokia. Now, it's not quite gone through just yet. Microsoft will be buying Nokia, but the deal hasn't quite been finalised. And this was actually news to me, because I assumed this had already happened. I kind of assumed that Microsoft had already bought Nokia, but it turns out that wasn't the case. It turns out that actually Nokia was just kind of Microsoft's bitch, because I think they may have got rescued by Microsoft perhaps. And so they were kind of using just the Windows Phone brand. Windows Phone, have you ever actually used it? I'm going to say this of Windows Phone. Windows Phone is probably the best mobile operating system on the market today. It's stable, it works, it looks great, it's fantastic. But the thing that lets it down is the lack of apps. If you had the amount of apps that Android and iPhone had, and had them on the Windows Phone, it would be a great platform. But because of that, because it doesn't have the apps, it really isn't great. Especially for me, I wouldn't get a Windows Phone because it doesn't have the apps that I use every day. That's really the deal decider. I mean, to be honest, the only difference between what phone operating system I'll use is usability, how it uses, and the apps that I can use. There are some apps out there that are really, really great, but there's a little bit of fragmentation. Some apps haven't been updated for ages, and so it's kind of a little bit shit. Internet browser's shit because it's running IE, and as much as IE is actually not a bad browser. People slag off IE, but IE really isn't that great. really isn't a bad browser. Especially when you compare it to Chrome now. Chrome is actually pretty insecure in terms of a browser. IE10 is a pretty damn good browser. In terms of usability, I think Chrome's more usable, but in terms of security, IE is better. And Firefox is just abysmal now. I won't touch Firefox with a barge pole on Safari. Well, you may as well not even bother. You may as well sever off your arm and not bother even connecting to the internet if you've got Safari. Even on the Mac, that is, by the way, as well. If you've got a Mac machine, you're running Safari, just shoot yourself in the head and download Chrome, because Safari is actually horrendous. There's loads of things I need to do in terms of videos, and to be honest, I don't know whether I'm going to actually be able to get them done at any great speed, because I mean this weekend I might be able to get something done, possibly the week after next I'm going to the IP-Fire conference, which to be honest I probably won't be uploading anything. I might do, but it probably will be just a raw video, won't be edited, won't be none of that put together, because I'm just taking my shitty IBM, and I'm not going to take my Via with me, so I'm not going to be doing any video editing on the fly. I might then do a brew time with the guys from IP-Fire, so that'll be great. So we might just have a brew, might just chill out, might just do a general talk about IP-Fire and the project and stuff like that. If you haven't checked out the IP-Fire project, go and do it, because it's a really sweet project. If you're learning networking, if you've got an old machine to chuck it on, just chuck it on there. You can learn things like QoS, you can learn tons of stuff about business grade routing, and it's really good for even to try out as a proper professional. If you do this for a living, like me, go out and download it, install it, play around with it, maybe in a virtual machine, even run it on a test network. It's really sweet, or even on your home network, because unlike Untangle, it doesn't seem to block tons of ports, and it doesn't block loads of things, so you can't actually use it out of the box. Because that's the trouble with Untangle. When you want to game using Untangle, it's a real pain in the ass, and forwarding ports is not easy with Untangle. With IP-Fire, things just seem to work pretty well. To be fair, I've not played around much with the firewall settings with IP-Fire, so it could be that it's just opening, everything's open, and so it's really insecure, but we'll just leave it like that for a minute. That makes me sound like a real noob. I've not really played around too much with IP-Fire as of yet, because I haven't really had a chance. I'm going to try and do some videos like that. I'm going to try and do some server videos. I'm going to try and do some real techie videos, because people have been requesting that kind of stuff, and I know you guys, that's kind of what you want. Again, if you've got any questions, anything to do with anything, just ping me an email, asyocho@gmail.com. Increasingly people are doing that, and that's what I really like to see. First of all, put a comment, because if it's in the comments, people can publicly see it, people can see what's going on. Eventually I think I might create a forum perhaps, and maybe you can then share shit there, but at the moment I'm not that popular to warrant creating a website and all this other stuff. But anyway, apart from that, I shall catch you in a later video.